p.m., we will call this meeting of the East Lansing Board of Education to order. Ms. Hogarth, could we have a roll call, please?
Dr. Chambers.
Present.
Dr. Edsel.
She is excused this evening.
Ms. Fink.
Also excused.
Dr. Lyons. Here. Ms. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Ms. Walton.
Here.
Ms. Lako.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. The Board of Education, I move that the Board of Education approve the August 8th, 2022 regular meeting agenda as presented.
Moved by trustee Walton, second by trustee Lyons. Are there any additions to the agenda this evening? Corrections or additions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the agenda as presented indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Could I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I move the Board of Education approve the minutes of the July 25, 2022 regular meeting as presented.
Second.
Moved by trustee Martin, seconded by trustee Walton. Were there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of the minutes as presented indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do you have any recognition this evening, trustee Martin?
You know what's going on right now?
All right, well, it appears we do have some recognition or some introductions this evening. We have Mr. Benavides, I believe, is that correct?
Yeah.
And Mr. Milak. If you'd like to introduce yourselves as our new student representatives for the 2022-23 school year, we would appreciate that. I ask that you come to the mic just so everybody can hear you.
Hordes of people listening in.
All of the watchers at home.
My name is Gabe Benavides. I'm our 2022 to 2023 school board liaison for Student Congress. I'm going into 12th grade this year.
I'm Xander Milak. I am the representative along with Gabe, and I'm going into my senior year as well.
Thank you. Welcome, gentlemen. We're grateful to have you here this year.
Absolutely.
All right, if there is no other recognition on behalf of the board, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. I want to start by, we're 2 weeks, just a little over 2 weeks out from back to school. The first day of school for students is Wednesday, August 24th. This is a half day at the elementary level and full day for middle and high school students, and I've included a link to our school calendars with dates and times for each building. Also new this year, the elementary schools will be hosting a back-to-school night on Monday, August 22nd from 6 to 7 p.m. This event will provide students and families the opportunity to meet their teacher, see their classrooms, and walk through the school building before the first day of school. Watch for more information from your elementary buildings. The middle and high school will have their curriculum nights in September, and dates for these events will also be shared by the buildings. I have a construction update, although by the time, again, as I put these pictures on, these are from last Wednesday, but things have changed quite a bit already from them. But you can see at Red Cedar, plantings are being installed in the courtyard, and concrete is being formed and poured for the amphitheater. So the first two pictures are of the redo of the amphitheater out back. And then I've included a couple pictures of the courtyard that's being renovated specifically for our 3 and 4 year olds there in early childhood special ed and GSRP, a fun little play set in there. And then at our East Lansing High School athletic field, the stone-based material has been installed and work is being completed on the high jump area. And fence fabric is being installed at the tennis courts. I included a couple photos of the turf base and high jump area of our field, and then of our tennis courts as well. Had some questions, as expected, around COVID protocols for 2022-23, and there's a few things happening this week that will inform those. One is the board will be taking action tonight on a mask recommendation to make masks optional moving into this school year. 2, just today, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services offered a back-to-school webinar for programming that they'll have available to schools around testing, around antigen testing, around Michigan Backpack Program, around a new test that they're looking to pilot that will test for not only COVID, but also 2 different strains of the flu, which would help inform how to respond to it. So that is one that will be piloted before available to everyone. The other event that we're expecting here anytime is that the CDC is expected to release new guidance for K-12 education. That news came out last week. I've been watching for it. I have been able to see that one media outlet obtained a draft of it, but I don't want to depend on a draft. So we're expecting new CDC guidance regarding COVID protocols any day this week. And once all of those are in place, oftentimes when the CDC comes out with guidance, it's followed by DHHS. Oftentimes then followed or in conjunction with the Ingham County Health Department's protocols. So before we communicate something, that knowing these things are on the horizon, we're just waiting for all of those events to happen, and then we'll communicate with staff and students and families the protocols and testing programs that we'll have available to start the school year out this year. But happy to answer any questions about that as well, or any of the other topics.
Any questions for the superintendent about her report?
Not a question, but just looking at these photos, I hadn't seen, obviously, I don't have a kiddo at Red Cedar. And so just, I'm looking at this picture of the courtyard and thinking back when touring that building, maybe even before it was open, and just that courtyard area being kind of overgrown. And man, to see the picture of this little play structure, it's, first of all, looks super fun, but it's just another marker of how far we've come with that project, and super proud of it.
Yeah, and that was one of the things too, just kind of, some of you have heard me say, our timing was really rather fortunate, because our timing with everything, with all the RFPs and bids being approved, really, our last round of large bids, of building bids, was approved in February of 2020, right before, COVID hit. So the escalation of all the costs around labor, manufacturing, shipping, et cetera, has really magnified. And we kind of beat that, which is what allowed us to have some surplus funds to be able to do some of these things at the end that we didn't know if we'd have money for. The outdoor learning centers, the Red Cedar Amphitheater, the solar, the Red Cedar courtyard. But really, it was... we were very fortunate, because I know folks who are doing bonds now, and some of their bids are coming back extremely, extremely higher than what they originally estimated. So one thing to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question about the timeline for the turf and tennis. Just wondering if that's still on schedule.
As of today, it still is.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Still on, from the information we have right now, we will be able to play our first home matches on our field and tennis courts. Should that change, I will let you know, because I know anything's possible.
I was worried about the weather we've been having, that it was going to slow us down a little bit.
Yeah, and right now it hasn't. I mean, we're kind of looking ahead to make sure, as it's, once that turf gets delivered and there's a set number of days for installation that really need to happen, that would be a challenge during rainy times, of course. And so we'll work and talk with the city about any kind of extended hours if we need to, because they're already working 7 days a week out there to get it done now. But if there was rain in the daytime, but maybe not in the nighttime, if there was an opportunity to shift some of the working hours, if that happens.
Very good.
With the information that you learned about the testing that could be available, I'm assuming that we would sign up to do that testing if we're eligible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The folks that we hired over the last couple of years to do testing, I'm assuming they're not on the payroll today. Is that safe to say?
That is safe to say, but we did reach out to them just today, and to see if there was still interest in supporting the district with some sort of testing or in a role of testing. And I mean, there's a lot of reporting requirements, and they're daily reporting requirements. So, for example, if you antigen test and we get a positive result, that has to be reported on the DHHS site within 4 hours. And any negative ones, they can be reported as an aggregate, so you don't have to individualize all of them like you do positive ones, but still within 24 hours. So looking to still have some support. We have our school nurse, but there's still a lot for her to do as well, inside and outside of COVID, especially at the beginning of the year when we have new students with health plans, medical plans. So we just reached out today to see if our 2 folks who did the testing last year would be interested in still supporting it in some capacity this year.
Very good. Other questions for the superintendent? All right. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I move the Board of Education approve the consent agenda to include the following items. A, new hires. 1, hiring of Nicole Lawrence, 1.0 FTE music teacher at White Hills Elementary School at BA Step 8, effective August 22nd, 2022.
Moved by trustee Chambers, seconded by trustee Lyons. As a reminder, there is no discussion on the consent agenda. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I believe that Nicole is here this evening. If you feel comfortable and would like to introduce yourself, please feel free to do so. It is not a requirement, but we love to welcome you to the district. And you guys, I remember to do it. I remember.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Nicole Lawrence. I've been a music teacher for 7 years now, and I'm really excited to join the East Lansing family.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, we will move on to public comment. I have one blue form. Is there anyone else wishing to give public comment this evening? Okay. Just as a reminder, this is an opportunity to address the board. Speakers are to confine their remarks to 5 minutes. If a speaker requires more than 5 minutes after all other persons who have requested to speak during this part of the meeting have spoken, that speaker will be allowed additional time. The superintendent or other district staff may comment to clear up or avoid significant misunderstandings. I'd like to welcome Yuna Kim, who is interested in speaking on careers in the field of infrastructure for students. If you could come to the podium and just restate your name, we would appreciate it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Yuna Kim, and I am a licensed professional engineer and also a management consultant and small business owner. And actually, I am a graduate of East Lansing High School. I grew up here in East Lansing, elementary school, middle school, high school. So that was quite some time ago, class of 2001. So anyways, I just wanted to raise some awareness about careers in the infrastructure field. As a professional engineer, I know that there are a lot of shortages in the space that I work in, and also I know that just looking back on how I guess I've been able to kind of grow and navigated my career development, starting from I guess when I was young, when I was little. I was thinking, well, being here in East Lansing has given me so many opportunities, and I've learned so much in terms of academics, being disciplined, working as a team and being part of a community. And I feel that, especially in I guess, where I'm working, I guess as an engineer, and also with all the experiences that I've had, I think that there are a lot of opportunities for students to potentially get exposed to some of the opportunities that this field has to offer. So the kinds of industries that I serve and work in include public works, utilities, transportation, and I know that there are agencies right around here that are looking for good people. And so I just wanted to just let everyone know, and I guess well, thank you for giving me the time to speak. And as I guess I'm continuing with my work, it's very possible that you may hear of me through various channels, because I am doing a lot of outreach with various schools. And so I'm going to leave some of my contact information with all of you guys, so that you guys can learn more about what I do, and maybe there is a possibility for something more meaningful and bigger to happen right here in East Lansing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This will be the last call for public comment. All right. We will move on to our action items. Could I have a motion to approve the fiber cable project in the football stadium?
I move the Board of Education approve the fiber installation project with FiberLink in the amount of $42,774.65.
Second.
Moved by trustee Martin, seconded by trustee Chambers. Is there any discussion regarding this motion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion as presented indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for the resumption of the mask mandate, please?
I move the Board of Education makes face masks optional for all individuals inside ELPS buildings and on district transportation effective immediately. Additionally, the superintendent may reinstate a temporary mask mandate at her discretion for a building or classroom should an outbreak occur.
Second.
Moved by trustee Chambers, seconded by trustee Martin. Is there any discussion or comments regarding this motion?
I just say I appreciate that we give our superintendent some discretion when we do see troubling trends to take some action if it's necessary.
Great.
I would also like to say that I knew this was inevitable. Masks, we can't live with masks the rest of our lives, although I'm still wearing mine. I also want to preface that I think, I'm in favor of this. I'm going to vote for it, but I also want to make sure that we're taking action and coming up with plans and thinking about, I know it's case by case, but also thinking about those hypotheticals that might happen and having a plan in place before it actually happens, so we're proactive. So I would just put that out there, and hopefully, and I have no doubt that you're thinking about all of this and you're talking to your staff and everyone in the schools, but I just want to put that out there. I think it's going to be very important because, again, inevitably, we're probably going to have some breakouts, and we know that's going to happen, and we have to figure it out and live through it and come up with plans so that we can get through it and not have to shut down. That's not our goal. But our goal is to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. And so that's why I'm in favor with this, because I know we have to move forward in a safe way. And with being safe, that's also having plans in place and having everyone take action when things happen. So, and knowing that we're going to have to adjust, right? We might have a plan and we might have to adjust it. And so that communication also is important to our family and students. So I would just put that out there.
Thank you, trustee Lyons.
Yeah, I concur with my colleagues here, and I just would add, I appreciate the level of communication that you have and the administrative team has continued to demonstrate throughout this last several years, and how connected we have been with local health officials and helping us make decisions and paying attention to all of these things. I wish that there were magic answers here and we had a clear direction for what to do always, and that, I continue to look for that magic answer. It's been elusive so far. But short of that, I think that we have done as much as we can do to stay informed and make good decisions. And so this is another tough call tonight, but it's important. And I appreciate everything that everyone is doing to stay informed.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to add that one of the things that makes me comfortable supporting this tonight is watching the decisions that our superintendent made over the past year, or once we made masks optional last spring. Watching what had to happen in some classrooms. You were very responsive, and I feel like you did a good job keeping our students safe, and I know that going forward, you'll do the same thing. So that's what makes me comfortable doing this. Obviously, I'm still wearing my mask, and my family will likely choose to do the same thing. But I do think it's time.
This is the third August of this pandemic. And
OMG.
if you look at just looking at the progression of
rub that in.
of the problems that we've had to solve, like this seems, I'm just so grateful that we have vaccines for children and we have the experiences we've had and the successes we've had. I think it's a testament to the leadership of Ms. Lako and the rest of our district. So confident going into this school year. And, hopefully next August it'll be even easier for us.
Hope so. One of the things I did confirm earlier with Superintendent Lako was that masks would still be available for any student or staff member who wanted them. And that's also reassuring.
Yeah, I think that's the important part to really focus on within this motion is the fact that masks are optional. As we can see, folks still choose to wear masks. They choose not to wear masks based on their comfort level and where they are. And so I really appreciate that. And I have full faith in the superintendent and in her team as things crop up, because we know that they will. But I feel very confident in her direction and her leadership over the last several years, especially in this regard. Good. Are there any other comments or questions?
Or exclamations.
Or
OMG.
exclamations?
I just know that Superintendent Lako can't wait until we don't have to talk about COVID anymore, just like all of us. So.
All of us, yes.
And, we know it's not over, but we also know that we have to live with it now. So
Yeah.
we just, and vaccines have helped so much. And so we're very fortunate that we had so many of those vaccine fairs or
Clinics.
drives, whatever they are.
Fairs.
It is Monday.
Cotton candy.
It is fair season.
Hey, there were dogs there for the kids. There was
Yes.
Parallels.
entertainment.
Very good. All right. If there is no more discussion, all those in favor of the motion as presented indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We move on to committee reports. I'll make this easy. Are there any committee reports?
Academic Tech has not met. I'll speak on behalf of Trustee Edsel about policy. We have a meeting scheduled. I think it's next Wednesday. That sounds reasonable. I think so. Next Wednesday. Yep.
17th?
Yes, at 4 p.m. In this room.
Very good.
Kara, can I quickly confirm we have an academic and tech meeting this Thursday?
Oh.
Wednesday or Wednesday? I have Wednesday.
Oh,
Is
Wednesday.
it Wednesday? Okay, I have it.
At 9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will be getting a agenda out very soon for that.
So that'll be the 10th.
The 10th, 9 a.m. Also this room. My bad.
All right.
No facilities, meetings. I will email the committee members and we'll try to set something up for the next few weeks so that we can evaluate our progress from the summer.
Very good.
No,
I believe finance does not meet until September. Is that correct? Okay, well, stay tuned. We might schedule a meeting soon, coming to you. Intergovernmental relations and personnel has not met either. Are there any announcements this evening?
Can we get a puppy update?
Oh yeah, what's up with the puppies?
Gosh, I don't like to talk about that. It's like, I'm
Frodo
sure people are
today.
gonna can get off of our Facebook page because I'll be posting so much. So I have a plan for that. So it's not all puppies, okay? Otherwise, it could turn into it. So we have 7 out of 8 of them placed, with an 8th one doing some home visits. Yes. They were 10 weeks last week. And so, okay, so our 5 sibling pups were 10 weeks last week, and they had their first class. So I went out and I actually walked in. Tractor Supply Company on the west side is where they do it, out by the airport. And I walked in and I said, "Where is puppy training?" And the guy's like, "You don't have a dog." I'm like, "I know, but I'm here anyway because I have 5 dogs actually, So they had their first night of training. It was a riot. It was like these puppies were back with their siblings. And so they were like, gangs back together, let's play. And they did, and they were quite a hoot. So they had their first night of training last week, and the older pups are in a different class because they're a little bit older, so they they graduated onto a different course. But they'll be going every week till they're 1. And they'll be starting the school year part-time, depending on kind of what they can, what they have the appetite for as pups, as they get acclimated to their building. But things are going well, and we think we have a 8th one, which is super exciting, so that all of our buildings will be, served with pups. So yeah, it was very fun Thursday night. There's nowhere I'd rather been than at dog training without my own dogs. So, but it was good. They were our people there. They were doing good. They're doing great. We're starting. I actually met with the development director with ELEF to start looking at potentially starting an endowment so that we can support them moving forward through donations and sponsorships. I've also started to work with a company who might be interested in doing some sponsoring already, at least moving forward. So, but ELEF is going to help with that by looking at seeing if we can start an endowment for it. So that would be really cool. So if folks wanted to donate specifically for that, they'd be able to. So that's my puppy update. You know what? One of these upcoming meetings, we just need to have a couple of them come in.
Yes.
Field trip.
Maybe I'll
visit.
wait until there's a contentious item on the agenda, then they could already,
Break
We
the
just-
tension.
we
Just
can
make
make it
that-
work.
Make that an agenda bullet point, puppy update.
Puppy
like
time.
I
some
know.
Yeah.
Superintendent's report.
Instead of construction.
There you go. Now we're
right.
all going to be at Tractor Supply on Thursday nights if you're not careful.
To be.
See
You
if
all
they can
have
come.
puppies. Yeah, they're all in there.
Yeah.
I know. A couple of the other pups, like Okamus is getting 2. They had 2 there that are in the same class as us, but our group overwhelmed the class for sure. But I'll see if maybe a couple of them can come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
It'd
fun
be
to
awesome.
recognize them. You can recognize them, Trustee Martin.
Yeah. Put them in your recognition. All right. Are there any other announcements this evening? We will then stand adjourned until the 22nd of August,
Oh, wow.
First
Back
day
to
for
school.
the
staff.
week that school starts. So summer moved fast, didn't it all?
If we have any action items on personnel, I may need to call a special meeting prior to that, as we move forward with a couple outstanding, hopefully hires. So,
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
good.
so
We'll
I'll
be
keep you
here.
posted. Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.